Hello students, welcome to online course of Mechanical Measurement and Metrology. Myself Abhishek Trivedi from Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. We are discussing force, torque, pressure, strain and temperature measurement as well as its measuring instruments and the different techniques for the measurement of such parameters. In the previous lecture we have started the new topic, or we can say the last topic of the chapter, that is temperature measurement. In the previous lecture we have discussed the concept of the temperature, what is the basic meaning of the temperature, then we have discussed the different temperature scales, then we have discussed how the temperature can be measured. We can say that the temperature can be measured by checking the change in the different parameters, like we are going to check the temperature, or we can say we are calculate the temperature by finding the value of change in the dimensions, by finding the value of change in the resistance, by finding the value of change in the color, or we can say intensity of the radiation. Then we have discussed the different temperature scales, in which we have discussed the Celsius grade scale, or we can say centigrade scale, which is normally used in a day-to-day life. Then we have discussed Kelvin scale, which is useful if the temperature is higher than the certain range. We can say it is a very absolute scale because the Kelvin scale starts with the zero value. The absolute zero temperature stands for the 0 Kelvin. Then we have discussed Rankine scale, which is useful for the power plant, or we can say where the vapor power cycle or the steam gas power cycles are running. We are generally preferring the Rankine scale. And at the end we have discussed the Fahrenheit scale. The Fahrenheit scale is very much useful for the medical science, or we can say the forensic science, where the species can be stored, where the medical research work can be done. We are preferring the Fahrenheit scale in a very basic manner at that particular locations. We have another scale, it is known as a Réaumur scale, which is used in many more industries which are totally based on the chemical industries. Then we have discussed the two different temperature measuring instruments. The first one, that is a very basic temperature measuring instrument, that is the liquid in glass thermometer. The conventional thermometer which we are using in our day-to-day life, where the human temperature can be measured by using the conventional thermometer, we are preferring the liquid in glass thermometer, in which as a liquid we are using mercury as a basic liquid for the measurement of the temperature. And then we have discussed the solid expansion thermometer, or we can say the bimetallic expansion thermometer, in which the two metals are used. First one is a high temperature coefficient metal, and second one, that is the lower coefficient of thermal expansion material. And by joining both the materials, and then we are going to check the radius of curvature and the radius and the arc angle of the particular expansion curvature, and then we are going to find the value of temperature by using the analytical approach. Today we are going to discuss the thermocouple, as well as we are going to cover the resistance temperature detector and the pyrometer in the upcoming lectures. The concept of thermometer is a very much useful concept for the measurement of the temperature. In almost, we can say, in every mechanical industries, the thermocouple is very much useful, because thermocouple can measure the temperature, let's say minus 270 degrees Celsius up to 2800 degrees Celsius. So we can say that the range of the thermocouple is a very wide range for the measurement of the temperature. It can measure the temperature in the range of cryogenics, it can measure the temperature in the range of human axis, as well as it can measure the temperature in the range where the human axis is not physical. We can say the human axis is not feasible. The thermocouple is applicable for the measurement of the temperature. So let us discuss the basic concept of the thermocouple, and then we are going to discuss the industrial thermocouple. So let us start with the concept of thermocouple. As the name suggests, thermo plus couple, it means we have two different metals at two different junctions with two different temperature point, and then whatever the circuit has been generated, the circuit defines the thermal state of the given physical system. If by using all such combination, if we are going to measure the temperature, or we can say we are going to measure the difference of the temperature, the particular setup is known as a thermocouple. Thermocouple consists of the wires of the two dissimilar metal. Underline this word. We are going to use the two different, or we can say two dissimilar metals, which are welded at ends and to form the two junctions. It works on the thermoelectric effect. What does it says? Let's say we have the one wire. Suppose this is a wire A. We can say metal wire A. We are going to weld the metal wire B like this. We have made a junction point over here, another junction point over here. Let's say this is the metal wire B. So what the definition says that in the particular thermocouple we are supposed to consist the two different wire or we can say two dissimilar metal wires. So here we have Ma and Mb. The wires has been joined at the ends, we can say welded at the ends. So we have created a junction, let's say J1 junction and J2 junction. And if both the junctions consist the two different temperature, let's say here the temperature is Th, over here suppose the temperature is Tc, where Th stands for the higher temperature and this is for the colder temperature, or we can say hot temperature, hot junction temperature, cold junction temperature. Then and then some sort of the thermoelectric effect has been generated within the circuit. If the thermoelectric effect has been generated, then the thermocouple is totally based on such particular effect. So this is the basic concept of the thermocouple. Just the junction at the higher temperature is known as a hot junction and the junction at the cold temperature is known as a colder junction. The thermocouple is based on the three different effect. We can say that the thermocouple is totally depend on the three different effect. The first one, that is the Peltier effect. The second one, that is the Thomson effect. And the last one, that is the Seebeck effect. Cumulation of all three effect, or we can say combination of all three effect, is says as thermoelectric effect. All the effects stands for the different temperature, different junctions, as well as the EMF generated within the system. So let us discuss each and every effect in detail. The first one, the very first effect, that is known as a Peltier effect. The figure shows the concept of the Peltier effect. Let us understand. The Peltier effect stands for the concept of thermocouple. So as the definition suggests, the Peltier effect will also fulfill the same definition, that we have the two dissimilar metals. Let's say this is metal A, on the bottom hand side I have changed the color of the pen. This is metal B. So we can say that we have the two different or dissimilar metal wires, let's say Ma and Mb. Both the wires has been joined at the two junctions. Suppose the light sky blue color suggests the junctions. Let's say this is the junction 1, junction 2. Here the conductor 1 is there. This is the conductor 1. Here the conductor 2 is there. This is the conductor number 2. The conductor itself having some sort of the temperature. We can say here, let's say here the temperature junction which is higher in the temperature range, we can say that having the temperature Th, or we can say higher temperature. Here the temperature, let's say Tc temperature. If the junction is generated at the higher temperature side, we can say that the junction is Jh. The junction at the higher temperature side, here the junction is Jc. We can say the junction at the lower temperature side. Now what the Peltier effect says that, the Peltier effect says that if the two dissimilar metals join, or we can say weld at the two different junctions, then and then the thermoelectric current has been passed through the circuit. The current flow generated within the circuit. The direction of the arrow shows the current flow. The direction of the arrow shows the current flow. So what does it says that? It says that the direction of the heat flow generated within the circuit, and due to the direction of the heat flow, some sort of the current generated within the circuit. The effect is known as the Peltier effect. So what is the Peltier effect says, if the two dissimilar metals, or we can say the two different metal wires, join at the two different junctions having the temperature, higher temperature H1, or we can say Th, lower temperature Tc, and they are making the two different junction, let's say Jh and Jc, then some sort of the current flow generated within the circuit. And if this current flow generated within the circuit, then the temperature of the higher side will slightly lower, going to down, and the temperature at the lower side will slightly increases. So what the effect says that, the effect says that due to the current flow, due to the flow of the heat generated, then the higher temperature will slightly moving downward. We can say the higher temperature will slightly decreases and the lower temperature will slightly increases. So we can say that the hotter junction will getting colder one and the colder junction will getting hotter one. So this effect known as the Peltier effect. The next effect, that is the Thomson effect. Now what do you mean by Thomson effect? As we have already discussed that the Thomson effect also stands for the thermocouple, so we can say that it will also fulfill the basic definition of the thermocouple. Let's say this is the thermocouple having the two different metals. We can say this is the metal, let's say Ma, here the metal, that is the Mb metal. Both are joined at the two different junction, let's say the junction JH, here the junction, let's say JC junction. The temperature at the JH side, that is JTH temperature, over here this is the TC temperature. Now what the effect says that? The effect says that as you are moving along a single wire side, mark my word, as you are moving along the single wire side, due to the temperature difference, we know that whatever the heat flow generated, the heat flow start from the higher temperature side and ends at the lower temperature side, and due to the heat flow some sort of the thermoelectric EMF has been generated. So once the thermoelectric EMF has been generated, and if you are moving in the direction of the thermoelectric EMF, some sort of the temperature gradient exists. Now what do you mean by temperature gradient? Temperature gradient is the difference of the temperature per unit distance, per unit displacement. So what the effect says that? The effect says that if you are moving along the circuit on the single wire side, then some sort of the thermoelectric EMF has been generated, and once the thermoelectric EMF has been generated, it will directly affect or it will directly generate the temperature gradient. On a vice versa terms, if some sort of the temperature gradient exists, then and then it will generate the thermoelectric EMF. What does it says that if the temperature gradient exists, now to exist the temperature gradient, that is the condition that we are supposed to require the two different temperature, let's say T1 and T2, and T1 or T2, any one of these two temperature must be higher than the another one. If any of the two condition, if any one of these particular two conditions exist, then we can say that, suppose this particular condition exists, then I can say that the heat flow will generate from the T1 to T2 side, then we can say that some sort of the temperature gradient exists. Then what the Thomson effect says that if the temperature gradient exists, then we can say that some sort of the thermoelectric EMF will be generated within the circuit. This particular effect is known as the Thomson effect. And the last effect, that is the Seebeck effect. Now what the Seebeck effect says that, once again the Seebeck effect also stands for the same thermocouple. So I can say that the Seebeck effect also consists the two different metal wires. Let's say the wire M1, over here the wire M2. Suppose this is the MA wire, this is the MB wire. Over here this is the hot temperature junction TH, the temperature over this junction, that is TC. The junction generated at this particular point, let's say this is JH, the junction generated at this particular point, let's say JC. What does Seebeck effect says that? Seebeck effect says that if the two different metals join at the two different junctions having the two different temperature, let's say TH and TC, if TH is higher than TC, it means if one junction temperature, arbitrarily one junction temperature is higher than the another junction temperature, then and then some sort of the EMF has been generated, and the EMF can be measured over the meter. The particular effect shows Seebeck effect. So this is the combination of all three effects. The first one, that is the Thomson effect, then we have discussed Seebeck effect, and then we have discussed Peltier effect. Combination of all three effects will generate the thermoelectric effect of the thermocouple, and due to this particular effect the thermocouple works. So I can say that if thermocouple exists, and if I'll join thermocouple with the meter which can measure the EMF, then let's say we have two different metals cumulative effect of the thermocouple, we have the two different metals Ma, Mb, join at the junction, let's say JH junction, join at the junction, let's say JC junction. Suppose the temperature at the JH, that is the TH temperature, higher temperature. Suppose the temperature at the junction JC, let's say TC temperature, colder temperature. Then due to the effect of Peltier, due to the effect of Thomson, and due to the effect of Seebeck, some sort of the thermoelectric EMF has been generated. So if I know the value of this particular EMF, I can, and if I know the temperature, any one temperature, let's say if I know the value of EMF and I know the TH, then I can find the value of TC. On the second case, if I know the EMF and I know the TC, then I can find the value of TH. So to find any one of the temperature, you can use the thermocouple as a case for the reading. The figure shows the industrial thermocouple, or we can say the basic constructional features of the thermocouple. Now, what does thermocouple stands? As we know that thermocouple contains the two different metal wires. Here the constantan and the iron are the two different metal wires which are joined at the two junction point. Suppose this is junction number 1. Over here we have generated the junction number 2. This is the reference junction number 2. Here the junction has been connected with the copper leads, and the copper leads is directly connected with the voltmeter, which can measure the voltage, which can measure the EMF generated within the circuit. We know that both the junctions has been maintained at the two different temperature. Let's say here the temperature of unknown temperature source, let's say we are supposed to measure the higher temperature side, so we can say that here there is a TH temperature. The colder side has been maintained at the reference junction level. Let's say we can say this is the TC temperature. We have maintained the colder temperature as the ice bath as a reference, so I can say that we know the value of TC is approximately equal to 0 degree Celsius. If I have to measure the temperature of unknown source, then what I am supposed to do, I will simply connect the thermocouple circuit and connect the thermocouple circuit with the voltmeter, and whatever the voltage difference has been generated, we can say whatever the EMF has been generated, it will directly calibrated to the difference of the temperature. I can say that this is equal to T1, or we can say TH minus TC. From the reading of the voltmeter, we can find the value of delta T. I know the value of TC because the TC has been made as a reference temperature. I know the value of the reference temperature. I can find the value of TH. So I can say that thermocouple is useful for measuring the temperature of single source if the second source temperature is known for us, and if we have the calibrated scale in terms of temperature from the voltage supply. So I can measure the temperature of the single source. The thermocouple is useful for measuring the temperature, let's say minus 270 degrees Celsius up to 2800 degrees Celsius. So I can say that it is fall between the range of cryogenics, it is fall between the range of human access, and it is fall between the range of more than human access. So this is the basic case of thermocouple. That's why thermocouple is very much useful instrument for measurement of the temperature in the all kind of mechanical industry. Let's say we are supposed to use thermocouple in the power generation in industries, in the steel manufacturing, in the oil manufacturing industries, in the chemical industry, process industries, food processing industries, and so on. All the total industries which are totally based on the mechanical setup, or where we can say that where the human access is not accessible, feasible for measurement of the temperature, we are using the thermocouple. As well as in the thermocouple, the hotter temperature side, or we can say the temperature at the higher side, can be measured from the far located distance. We can say that if we are supposed to provide the unknown temperature source which is far located from the known temperature source, we can measure the temperature up to some range. So thermocouple is very much useful concept for the measurement of the temperature. So guys, over here we are going to wind up our lecture. What we have discussed today, we have discussed a simple concept of thermocouple. What is thermocouple? Then we have discussed the three different effects which is generate the effect of the thermocouple. The effects are known as the Peltier effect, Seebeck effect, and the Thomson effect. Then we have discussed the industrial thermocouple, or we can say the basic core concept of the thermocouple. Here we are winding our lecture. From in the next lecture we are going to discuss the RTD, we can say resistance temperature detector, and pyrometer, and we are going to wind up our chapter. Till then, thank you.